Somebody asked me how long I've had HDS for, which is the holder's mnemonic on the terminal. And I said, oh, we implemented the HDS function maybe a month or two ago. And then the guy goes, no, codependency syndrome. I'm like, oh, I was born with that. Carmen Carrero. Let's take a look. Who's that? Carmen Carrera. So far, so good. I'm assuming this is a woman. 100% born woman. Assigned female at birth. This sus? This sus? Oh, no. I got caught. Exposed. Look, they're good at something. Something was off. That's why I started asking. Is it a woman? Oh my God, you're getting banned for that, for tricking me. Take your $2 back, bro. Would you smash? Man, you're done. You're banned. User banned. Goodbye. Come here to learn, not disrespect. Shkreli, GTFO. Okay, hold up. Let me ban you too. Oh, you came here to learn? Here, you're gonna learn something today. Here, check this out. Click. Put user in timeout, not hide user on channel, aka ban. Yeah, hope you learned something. Hey, listen, you try to trick me with trans, it's over for you. You knew what that was. We used to do that in jail, actually. There was some, like, Sports Illustrated, and guys would run around and be like, yo, check this out, yo. You fuck with that? And dudes would be like, hell yeah, smash the shit out of that. I've been locked up 5 years. And dude would be like, yo, it's a man. Yo, it's a man. They'd be like, no. They tried it on me, and I was like, nah, something's up with this. Why are you asking me this question? But sometimes they would also, they were smart. They would hone the skill. They would show other girls. They'd be like, would you f this bitch? And it would be like, I don't know, 𝗕𝗲𝗄𝗏 or something. Like, hell yeah. There'd be some other girl, super hot. Like, yeah, she's looking fire. Then there'd be the trans woman. They're like, how about her? You're like, I guess. What? Why? They're like, oh, he said he would. Listen, it all depends on the presentation. I didn't do a close-up, man. You know what it is? 8-inch heels. 8-inch long. No. If you're into that kind of thing, like, it will come out earlier in your life. And you can't keep that kind of thing a secret. Like, it just doesn't add up. I'm not saying nobody's, ever done it and got away with it or kept it quiet or something like that. But I more believe, like, the Harvey Weinstein type thing. I wouldn't just say believe it. I almost expect it. Prince Andrew's weird. I agree with that. Yeah, I don't want to use the exact word, but you know what the word is. Starts with a P. But yeah, I think you know already. Yeah, that Space Jam guy. Hollywood's got a couple of these guys, but I think the whole world does. There's like almost a pedophilia epidemic. In prison, about a quarter, maybe a third of the prison was pedophiles. It's the low security. It's pedophiles and drug dealers. Or just like drug dealers sitting there like, what is wrong with these white boys? It's almost all white guys. The low security system is like a quarter to half. It's insane. The dark web's full of stuff. No, the only place PDF files can't go, they can't go to camps. So they basically get stuck in the lows. If they get big sentences, they have, I think, a special prison for them in Arizona. But they look, they're not trying to protect them anyway. The guards are happy when they get killed. If there's a big prison riot and the guards know that it's about like a PDF file, they're just like walking around like, I don't see nothing. Meanwhile, like 8 motherfuckers get stabbing a guy, and you're just like, I don't know what's going on. What's going on right now? Should I call this one in? They'll even set it up worse. They'll be like, one guy will go to the guard. Sometimes there's just one guard on duty for 400 people. They'll go to the guard and be like, look, we're gonna go do something to that PDF file over there. All right? We need you to keep busy. And the guard's like, okay, I think I'll go for a walk. And the guy's like, all right. And then they do their thing. Guard shows up. He's like, oh my God, there's a dead body here. It doesn't happen in the low system, though. And it doesn't always happen, even in pens. You never say never, Let's talk about stocks, yeah.
Yeah, if you already have a life sentence, you don't care. And then the other point is if you think you can get away with it, because oftentimes those murders don't get investigated.
Oh, SBF must be back in Brooklyn. You don't want to be in Brooklyn if you don't have to. Although I like Brooklyn. I run through MDC. I'm the boss. They changed their policy for high-profile inmates. They used to just chuck us in with everybody else. But then they saw that I was too much of a boss. I acclimated immediately. Immediately. Big Shkreli on the range. Bunger knows. Bunger knows the lingo. On the tier. What's up? I talk to all of them. What's up, SA? Dime. That means speak to me. Dime. That's what I say to my Dominicans. Did I make money inside of prison? Hell yeah. Prison money is not money, but you know, we make some deals on the outside too. I'm making deals. I was listening to conference calls from prison. I would dial into conference calls. I'd be like, I'm in a different office. I'm working from a different office today. All the conference call participants wouldn't. They'd be like, okay. Anyway, going back to their quarterly results. I'd be like, listen, if I have to abruptly drop off, I might have to abruptly drop off. Some Mexicans want my throat cut. So yeah, I had my lawyers come through with all my business paperwork. My lawyer's telling them, yeah, we need to speak to Mr. Shkreli on a pressing legal matter. Come through and had a lawyer with the fat ass. Like, yeah, this is a pressing legal matter. We need to speak with her immediately.
I don't know. I'd have to find out. I mean, I'd have to just see, right? I mean, I'd have to figure it out.
All right, in the hierarchy, okay. Let's see here. Get a good thing going here. All right. Let's call the set of all women omega. And let's just do a bolded W just so we know what we're talking about. Okay, the set of all women is an abelian group, and it contains several other sets. Okay, so we've got the flats, we've got the beta, which is big titties, and we've got, well, actually, instead of flat, we're going to call this, let's do the proper math term, actually. This would be, anybody in chat know already? I'll give you $100 if you know the right set name. Omega, it's lowercase epsilon. And then we've got iota for implants. So what we should do for implants? Maybe we just do lambda. Okay, so this is a set of boob configurations. Beta greater than lambda greater than epsilon. Delta? Yeah, maybe it should be delta. For change. Yeah, I like that. It's delta because it's change, right? We'll do lowercase delta or uppercase delta. I think that fake boobs are okay for women when their clothes are on, because they look pretty sexy in like a dress or something like that. The problem is, I forgot how to draw delta. Yeah, I got it backwards. Forgot my partials, and the partial looks a little like that. The capital delta is a triangle, lowercase delta is that. Epsilon, look, the great thing about all this is I love all of these. I have love for all three sets, no problem. I don't mind SAG. SAG is a gift from God. But like I had a girlfriend recently who was in epsilon and moved over to the delta class. So let's see, what are the operations defined in this group? Does it form a ring? Does it form a field? In the set of beta, you can define an operation. Well, let's just say the operator, let's make the operator function look something like that. And A can operate on B. I'll let you guess what that is. Delta also has this operation, but no such operation exists for epsilon. This is not defined. Can you guess what this operator is? And what the operands are? I'm teaching you abstract algebra. And is this abelian? Is this abelian? So the answer is yes, it's abelian. And there's another, no, this is abstract algebra. There's another operator, including in this set, where you have A, and I'll make the operator this, B. So these are the two operations, and they're closed over. So there's closure and commutativity. This is called abstract algebra.
Losing or gaining weight, I like that. That's like a third property. I like that, Cammy. Anyway, I do think the best are just sort of natural. Implants are slightly better than no boobs. Yeah, you don't want to go from A to D. That's insane. You know, nobody should do that. There's a lot of great books in abstract algebra. Martin, maybe the best one. But I read one when I read in jail. I read several in jail. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, the best thing about implants is the way they look in dresses and stuff like that, swimsuits maybe. Mostly better for clothes on. Clothes off, there's no competition. Real boobs are great. It's my biggest weakness in life. Yeah, well, these are operations. We're not defining the category. When we want to, like, further define the elements of the set, we'll...
I can't believe Mayor Adams got arrested. I have a new theory. Anyone who makes enough money for a long enough time, or anybody who's in power for an extended duration of time, will end up in prison. It is like a necessary condition of society. Of advanced society. Gucci Mane Guide to Greatness. I read that book in prison. I bought a couple copies for the homies. Guys would come to my cell, knock on the door, knock on the whatever, and be like, "Yo, Shkreli, I heard you got the Gucci Man Guide to Greatness." I said, "Yes, I do. Here you go."
I've never been to P. Diddy party. No, I'm not cool enough. I'm a computer nerd. Those guys call me when they have computer problems, though. Yo, Shkreli, you nice with this, right? Yeah, it's Kanye. Yeah, it's Hov. Hov. Yeah, my Windows 11 ain't working. Yeah, okay, Hov. Jay, look, here's what you do. Can I get tickets to your concert? Maybe next time. Hov. Me and my brother used to be so good at impressions. We could do any rapper, any rocker.
Oh, who knows about God? Do you know about God's gift? Have I talked about God's gift? My debut rap album's gonna change the game. I just named 4 things. We got a war, that's the biggest one. We got a port strike. We got a hurricane. We got a typhoon. It is real, man. Get the knife out, man. God's gift has been delayed. First, it was delayed due to my unfortunate incarceration. Next, it was delayed due to production difficulties. Estimated release Q1 2025. It's a double album. First album is called the Old Testament. New album, second album called the New Testament. It's a metaphor. Because I'm going to save the game. It's a Messiah. The fire tracks, all your favorite rappers are on, all your favorite producers. New Testament starts out with a track called 3 Wise Men. Okay? And it's Biggie, Tupac, and Jay. Word. I just got born. They're coming to see me. They heard that the flow is fire. So they see weed smoke in the sky, and they follow the weed smoke. And they said, whoever's emanating this weed smoke, he must be real. And they follow the weed smoke. And they see the trap house that I'm in. I'm in the crib. The trap house, the crack house. It's not a manger, it's a crack house. And they come out, and Jay-Z spitting his verse like, Hov, he's a realist, and you know, blah, 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 about how great I am. And that even though I was in the image of a baby, I was still in the image of a man. Then Biggie walks in, and Hov gives me, instead of a frankincense, Hov gives me a brick, you know what I mean? And then Biggie comes in. It was all a dream. You know, and he meets with young me, the adult me, and he came out, he's like, nah, he wasn't a kid. He was like an adult. And Hov was like, huh. Instead of myrrh, or whatever that is, Biggie, he gives me a Glock. You know, you gotta give gifts. And finally, Tupac comes, and these are fresh new verses, written by Tupac and Biggie, for real. And this was preordained. And Tupac comes in, feel me. And he comes in, and he's like, he comes out after chilling with me. He's like, man, he was like an old man to me. And, you know, he gives me some bits as the gift. So that's the first track, the Three Wise Men. Then I rap as the fourth verse. And I'm like, I f***ed all y'all, but I'm here to save the game. I wrote this track a long time ago. Yeah, in the baby voice. I like that. We got the Old Testament, got the New Testament. Revelations is that like piano track. It's like, when I come back on my next album, it's over for you hoes. Dr. Dre produced that one. Definitely Last Supper. That's the last Burger King meal. Me, all my homies with 𝗕𝗲𝗡𝗁. We chilling in the cut. Got burgers, joints, everything. And I see one of these cats as a snitch. I could see him. Yeah, we in the parking lot. See that snitch right there. You know he gonna betray me, man. Yeah, that's more like a Mike Will made it track. Got Sermon on the Mount. That's the freestyle on Flatbush Avenue. That's a Sermon on the Mount. You know, so the whole thing a metaphor from the Bible, you see? It's a concept album. Do you understand the concept? It's not really been done in rap before. That's why I'm here to save the game. I never heard of 𝗎𝗡𝗓 until I went to jail, and there's a guy who's like, reminded me of 50 Cent. He was hilarious. He's like, I'm from 𝗎𝗡𝗓. I was like, what the hell is that? He's like, New York. It's like, I'm from New York 40 years, never heard of 𝗎𝗡𝗓 in my life. So is it Long Island or something? He's like, no. Like, well, is it Westchester or something? It's like, no. It's like, is it upstate? He's like, no, not that either. Where the f*** is it? No, that's Teterboro. Oh, you're thinking Newark, maybe. I don't know why the Wall Street rap intersection exists. Wall Street entrepreneurship and rap. For some reason, we look up to those guys. I don't know why. When you actually go to jail with them, you're like, oh, this shit actually sucks, huh? Like, I don't think you understand, Martin. We're all, like, impoverished. Some of us make it out the hood, but most of us don't. Sure, no, I don't believe in astrology. You have to be a super moron to believe in astrology. I was going to write stock charting is pretty similar to astrology, I agree. There's a psychological term for the concept of believing in things that you know are false, and I was going to use that. It's a weird word. I was going to use that in my paper. I actually was doing a Substack. Let me see if I still have the draft. Oh, apophenia. Tendency to see patterns and connections between things that are unrelated and random. Characteristic of psychosis. Yeah, so if you look at it's a new word for everyone. If you look at the mass of the sun, so if you want to look at the scientific way of thinking about this, so you have the sun, you sort of have these orbits, right? These elliptical orbits around the sun, concentric more or less. Some of them are not concentric, but at scale, the Earth is like a dot here. So I'm not drawing it to scale because it wouldn't even be a pixel. The sun is very big. The sun represents what portion of the weight of our solar system do you think the sun represents? Here's a red dot called Mercury. Can you see it? There it is. Sun represents like 99.999% of the mass of the solar system. So there's no way that any planet moving anywhere could affect your birth on Earth. Doesn't matter where the moon is, doesn't matter where anything else is. Even if you could, how would water tides or something like that, for example, affect your development and influence your personality? It's impossible. There's also surveys that show that people's zodiac signs are irrelevant to the psychology's big five. All this stuff is, yeah, the moon certainly affects the tides, but the water in your cell is not going to change based on tide flow. There's no gravity from the moon affecting that. So
the sun is the dominant gravitational force. Mercury moving has zero impact on your weight on Earth. Otherwise, we'd notice weight change on Earth. There's just almost no perceptible change. So that's just one of hundreds of debunkings of, yeah, technical analysis is apophenic, to affect something as abstract as personality. And then, for example, the genetic components of personality far outweigh any other component. And then the other obvious one is your environmental components, where you're raised, things like that, from experience. So you're talking about 1 in a billion chance times a 1 in a billion chance times a 1 in a billion chance that astrology could be true. It just fits the narrative. And in fact, apophenia goes up. Things like 9/11 being a conspiracy theory. It's much more interesting than astrology. That's like astrology for other people. Why do people want to believe this? Well, they want to believe the narrative of the world that makes sense to them. They want to especially take horrific things or things that are really big and loud. They want to feel proud that they know the truth. Oh, don't you know? Yeah, no, astrology is certainly something women generally do like. I had this assistant from MIT, wonderfully smart, but I was like, astrology is fake. And she was like, I don't know. I'm like, no, not you too. Chicks love it. Yeah, baby, I'm a Pisces. I'm trying to Pisces you.
Yeah, basically the point of that is that I bought the album, I sold it, but in the sale, I never made any representation to the buyer that this was the only copy or that there hadn't been made 1 million copies of it. And I had made a ton of copies and sent them around to friends and family. So pretty much half the chicks in New York have a copy of this album. So they can't really control it. They just want some publicity because the thing isn't selling. They sold like a couple $100,000 of it. They sold less than, look at this garbage. They tried to sell out the album so that every sale dropped this 78-year release date by a day. You couldn't get anyone to buy any of it. They sold $351,000, which is less than your local garage band sells. I mean, think about it. 35,000 $10 albums. You know how much 35,000 records is? It's not a lot of records. Any rock band sells that much. Rappers sell 10x that. I'm sure some of you are making me mad. Some of you are going to turn me to the old me.